here's your, well, let me see. Here's your video for lesson 10T, congruent and similar triangles. Remember, congruent means same shape and same size. And then similar, okay, means the same shape but different sizes. For number 1, it says triangle ABC is similar to triangle YPL. And then it says list the corresponding sides and the corresponding angles. So corresponding, okay, basically what matches, okay, what matches up. So side AB on the big triangle corresponds with what side on the other triangle, you guys? Okay, YP. Okay, so please write this down. So then side BC corresponds with what other side? PL. Okay, PL. And then side CA corresponds with the final side, which is what? LY, yeah. So don't forget to use these symbols, okay, and whatnot that I'm using as well. So anyway, so angle A corresponds with what angle over on the other triangle?
Y.
Y angle Y, yeah. Angle B corresponds with what angle?
P.
P, yeah. And then angle C corresponds with what angle?
L.
Angle L. Okay, pretty simple, pretty easy. Any questions at all? Okay, moving on. All right, your instructions for numbers 2 and 3, it says use a proportion. Hey, does anybody remember what a proportion is? Okay, it can be represented by a number. You use numbers that represent pieces of wholes. So what's a proportion? Starts with an F. Fraction. So we'll go ahead and write this down. Here's your, so a proportion, okay, is a fraction, okay, it's setting up two fractions equal to each other. So here's what we're talking about when we use proportions to solve for missing sides, side lengths, okay, for each pair of similar figures. So side number 10 corresponds with what side on the other triangle? 20. Okay, so if you start off, please write this down. If you start off with a small triangle and put that in the numerator, you're going to put the small triangle number, okay, in the numerator of the other fraction. Does that make sense? So 10 corresponds with 20. So then x corresponds with what? 6, right? So that's the large in this case. So yeah, I would like you to write this down. Okay? So that's your large size since we put that in the denominator. So even, Steven, fair, square. Whatever you put on the top stays on the top when you're dealing with proportions. Whatever you put on the bottom, okay, the corresponding sides or angles, if you put that on the bottom, it stays on the bottom. And then from this point, does anybody remember how to solve proportions? Cross multiply, right? Keep it super simple, cross multiply. So what's 20 times x?
20x.
Cool. And then what's 6 times 10?
60.
And then from here, it's pretty simple. Divide both sides by what? 20, yeah. And I get x equals what?
3.
3. So that, okay, is the measurement for the missing side. Okay, for number 3. So on number 3, you have two missing sides on the smaller triangle, or two variables, okay, on the smaller triangle, you have x and y. So you have to choose one to solve for first. What do you guys want to solve for? X. That's fine with me. So x, side x, corresponds with what side of the other triangle? 10, 20, or 16? What do you guys think? 20. For right now, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, okay, because the triangles are all nice and lined up, okay, which is fine. So 20, x corresponds with 20. So then and then choose what you know. So go back to the small triangle. Side 12.8 corresponds with what other side? 16. And then from here, pretty simple, pretty easy. Okay, cross multiply. So help me out, guys. What's 20 times 12.8? So we got 256. Okay, and that's equal to what's x times 16? 16x. Okay, pretty simple, pretty easy. And then divide both sides by what? 16. And then what do I get for a value of x? 16. Would you guys agree with that? Now we know what the value of x is. It's 16, so we're good to go there. That's okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve for y. Same thing. So side y, this in blue, side y corresponds with what side of the other triangle? 10. And then choosing to the other side, if I choose 16, it corresponds with what number on the other triangle? 20, right? So then now we cross multiply. So 10 times 16 is 160. And then I'm going pretty fast because you guys are all picking up on this. 20 times y is 20y. Do you guys agree with that? Divide both sides by 20. And I get y equals what? 8. Cool. Remember, check each other's work. Don't trust each other's work. Make sure it's right. Okay, make sure their answers are right. Okay, let's go to the second side. Okay, 4 and 5, we're going to set up these proportions and solve for it. So here we go. Moving on pretty fast. No more stories. Okay, here we go. X corresponds with what side? 12. 25 corresponds with what side? 10. Cross multiply. Help me out here, guys. What's 12 times 25? I think it's 400. 300? I was close. So it's 300, right? And then what's 10 times x? 10x. Would you guys agree with that? Okay. Divide both sides by 10. And I get x equals what? 30. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes, Mr. Burns.
Are you sure?
Yes, Mr. Burns.
Oh, okay. All right. So we know that x is 30. So let's go ahead and solve for the other side. So if I say something like, I don't know, 25, it corresponds to what side? 10. And then starting off with a large triangle, okay, go back to it. So 28 corresponds with what? With what side? Y. Same thing. Okay. So 10 times 28 is 280. And then y times 25 is 25y. Okay. And for those of you that worked ahead, make sure I'm right. Keep me honest here. And then divide both sides by 25. And what did you guys come up with? Huh? 11.2. For those of you that worked ahead, are we okay? Are we good to go? Okay. Alrighty, moving on. So number 5, here we go. So if I say we choose y, it corresponds with what side? 12. How do you know? Because the angles, okay, the base angles. Alright, so y corresponds with 12. And then if I say 4, what does it correspond with? 6. The reason I didn't choose 9, because 9 corresponds with x, and we don't want to try to solve for two variables in one proportion. Okay, so you want to limit your variables. So 12 times 4, that's 48. 6 times y is what? 6y. Now what? Divide by 6, and I get x equals 8. Yeah. That's what I meant. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. You're so awesome. You guys are so awesome. Okay, here we go. So x corresponds with what? 9. Let's stick with what we know. Okay. Now, I changed this up, didn't I? X corresponds with 9. So I start off with a large triangle. So 6 corresponds with what? 4. Okay, so here we go. 9 times 4 is 54. 9 times 6 is 54. Okay, and 4 times x is 4x. Now what? Divide both sides by 4. And what do you guys come up with for x? 13.5. For those of you that worked ahead, how am I doing so far? Am I? Honestly and truly? Okay, cool. Good to go, you guys. All right, this time let's go and get out our books. Let's get ready to do our assignment.